Glenn Sanford now. I've been working with Glenn Sanford now for going on 16 years. Glenn hired me as his team leader literally while I was still in real estate school. I just left Chicago with all my clothes in a garbage bag after, bouncing around in various sales jobs. But ultimately, I was kind of a blue collar guy in a white collar neighborhood. And it was tough sledding in Chicago for me. So I did end up heading west. Threw all my clothes in a bag, jumped in a car with a buddy, came out to Arizona. And while I was in real estate school, I actually started looking at job opportunities, right? And just over broke opportunities. And I started interviewing. One of those people was Glenn Sanford. I met Glenn off of a Craigslist ad. Glenn was a top agent at Prudential who had moved his business to Keller Williams. He actually went from 0 teams to 6 teams overnight. And that should give you an idea of what kind of a big thinker Glenn Sanford is. But ultimately, he hired me to be his team leader. And this was in 2005. I was in Phoenix. He was out of Bellingham. Glenn was kind of a coder, a programmer, an internet developer, a systems analyst. He was a consummate entrepreneur. Had failed, I think, 15 times before he started EXP. So literally, Glenn had started 15 companies before EXP, but it's not how many times you fall down, right? It's how many times you get up. Everybody falls down, but it's do you get up again is the key to life. And so fall down 15, get up 16, right? So the 16th company he started was Exp Realty, and that was in 2009. A few of us, myself, my wife, Glenn's ex-wife Penny, a couple computer people. Gabe Kirk, Dale Kreiser, and then Suzanne Fuqua, who's in the call today, who I'm going to call on a little bit later, was our first Arizona state broker. So a few of us, literally like 6 or 7 of us, decided we were going to launch this new forward-thinking real estate brokerage model called Exp Realty. And again, this was 2009, coming out of the worst recession of our basically our lifetimes. Easily in the last 50 years, it was the worst housing market. People had lost 50% of their net worth, and so on and so on. And so, we really needed to come up with a better way of doing it. Being in real estate is very expensive. Running a brokerage is very expensive. Prior to EXP, Glenn had tried to launch a traditional brokerage, and I think he was running about $100,000 a month in overhead. And so when the market ultimately crashed, Glenn had 0 transactions coming in for about 3 or 4 months. And that was what really was the genesis of the EXP model. That was sort of the OMG moment, I like to call it. Glenn basically went 3 or 4 months without a single transaction in 6 or 7 cities, yet he was still paying for all the office space, still paying for all the staff, paying for all the internet stuff that we were really good at. And so we shut it all down. And one of the things Glenn found in those early years was a 3D immersive office environment. I'm actually going to share with you what that looks like in a minute, but let's just say it's the ultimate time saver and it's the ultimate money saver. And because we were able to save time and save money, when we did roll out EXP, the other thing that we used to sort of change the model was, instead of paying off of a profit share number, which is that at the time, and again, 2009, no other brokerages were paying out any form of residual income except Keller. Well, Keller was paying off a profit. Well, if you understand running a business, you're not always profitable, right? What does a P&L stand for? It's profit and loss. It should be profit or loss, really, POL. But profit or loss statement. So if you're getting paid off of a profit, but that's already after expenses, after everything comes out. So that number is going to be small to begin with, if it's even a number at all. And so we got sick of that. We had really large teams. We were kicking butt, making a lot of money for our brokerages, and we never got much back in the way of profit sharing. So that's something we wanted to change. So when we rolled out EXP, if you're keeping notes or taking notes at home, and I implore you to take some notes, the 2 biggest twists that we changed were cloud officing. That again made everything else possible. It saved us money, saved us time, saved us on logistics. And then we took that money and we give it back to the agents vis-a-vis stock, and residual income. So cloud officing, agent ownership, gross commission revenue share, and the fourth pillar, I would say, is international collaboration. So I'm going to get into all those in detail. But again, thanks everybody for jumping on. This is EXP Explained, or Intro to EXP. And my name is Brian Culhane. I'm one of the founding members, and I've been a little bit of everything over the years inside of EXP. I'm now the fourth or fifth largest shareholder, and I'm one of the top growth leaders in the company. I'm no longer on the corporate side, by the way. So nothing I say is official company business. We are a publicly traded company. So let me get that disclaimer out of the way. I'm just a regular shareholder, just like every other agent at EXP. But what made us special? Again, we were leveraging technology. We were leveraging the internet. We were leveraging building communities online. We were leveraging, smart ways of working. So if you look at some of these companies on the right-hand side, we're very similar to the Netflix or the Amazons of the world. I mean, they were even calling us that back in 2013, 2014, when we were first starting to get some attention. We've completely reinvented the brokerage model. It's not even fair to call this a brokerage opportunity. I'd say we're so much more than just a real estate company. As a matter of fact, I mean, we even, recently we purchased Success Media. So, I mean, our holding company, EXP World Holdings, actually owns a media company now. We also own the cloud office platform that we utilize. So we've got a number of different businesses now that we own as shareholders at EXP. But our primary business, again, is real estate. And inside of this business, we've literally changed the game. We don't do things like the old brokerages do. We've got different words. We've reinvented the language. We've reinvented the systems, the tools, the training. But ultimately, and most importantly, we reinvented the compensation plan. And so that's really what sets us apart. That's why we're growing so fast. That's why we've added, something like 45,000 agents in the last 2 years. It took us 6 years to get to 1,000. 6 months after that, we doubled to 2,000. 6 months after that, we doubled to 4,000. And literally in the last, 2.5 years, we've added something like 45,000 agents. So it's something's going on, right? I mean, these are like some of the smartest, best and brightest, productive, top producers, top agents, mega agents, teams, and even brokerages. I mean, we converted 1,000 agent brokerage last month. We've got some of the biggest and best names in the business are coming to EXP. And I'm telling you, folks, they're not coming because of the logo, right? And I love the logo. I helped design both logos. I've been part of the process on both logos. I love the logo. I wear the logo. But that's not why people are coming to EXP, right? They're coming because they can make more money doing pretty much what they're already doing. A lot of times people think about when I start talking about these other things like residual income, or I start talking about stock, people's eyes start rolling in the back of their head and they're like, whoa, I just want to sell houses. I don't want to do those other businesses. But let me just say, these are not other businesses. This is all part of what you're already doing. What are we doing as real estate agents? You're helping buyers and sellers, right? You're helping buyers and sellers create wealth, by the way, right? The number one way traditionally to build wealth in the United States was through your home. So you're already in the wealth building business. You're just helping other people build wealth. Now it's time to start building your own wealth. And the other part of the equation is you're already dealing with real estate professionals and basically the general public. And so, you just didn't have at your other brokerages, you didn't have a vehicle that allowed you to monetize a lot of those relationships yet. So that's what EXP really is. It's the ultimate monetization tool. It's going to allow you to monetize the right relationships in your network. And then it's going to encourage you to expand your network and grow your network and meet more people. And listen, the key to life is getting out there and meeting people. Every interaction you have, Glenn uses the phrase serendipitous, meaningful collisions. Right? It's like, getting out there and meeting people. That is the key to life. That is the key to business. That is the key to success, happiness, everything, right? Getting out there and meeting people. And obviously now we're coming out of a very interesting time in our recent country's history and really the the world history of having to basically spend the last 16 months sitting inside. What was nice about EXP is even though we were sort of, on house arrest for the last year and a half, we were able to still do business. We were able to still interact. We were able to still go in and connect with our teams and meet with our staff and meet with our brokers. And so we did all that through the cloud office. And that was, some people use the phrase that we were built for this, which was really kind of cool. But that's really what EXP was, is we were so forward thinking that, we had established a community that was I already had 10,000 hours of working in the cloud office when coronavirus hit. So I'm already I dream in 3D officing, right? So it was no issue for me. Well, all these other companies were scrambling to figure out Zoom or figure out other platforms to utilize. We were just like, hey, you can come work with us. So we were built for this, and the other piece that we were built for is the passive income thing. Passive income is amazing, folks. It gets a bad rap in some circles, but listen, there's nothing wrong with getting money that shows up whether you get out of bed or not. If you ask me, Brian, what is the ultimate business model? If you could be as selfish and design the most ridiculous business plan possible and I'll make it come true, I would say something like make money from people I never met or don't really know that well, whether I get out of bed or not. Could that be possible? Well, it is possible, right? It's actually through this residual income opportunity, and I'm going to get into that in detail. Real quick, let me just cover the fees. I know everyone is going to be thinking, Brian, what are the fees? What are the fees? What are the fees? So let me scratch that itch for you, and so that you can pay attention to the rest of this presentation. So we're an 80-20 split. Okay, so apples to apples, we're already very inexpensive. It's $16,000 cap for the year. That's the most you're going to pay in your 80-20 split. After you cap at 16, you go to 100% commission for the rest of your anniversary year, minus a $250 transaction fee. That $250 transaction fee, though, also caps at $5,000. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but that's a very special event in an agent's career at EXP. The $149 startup fee. So that's your initial investment, right? Don't think of this as a brokerage opportunity. Think of this as an investment opportunity, because you are investing when you come to a brokerage. You're investing time, money, blood, sweat, and tears, your reputation, your social capital, all that stuff goes into working for a brokerage. So the question you should really ask yourself when you're watching this presentation is, what kind of return am I going to get for investing my business into EXP? And my promise or my guarantee is that if you do invest your business into EXP, you're going to make more money over the long haul than you will at any other brokerage. And it's really that simple. Why not make more money? Yeah, thank you. Why not make more money doing what you're already doing? I used to run ads on Craigslist saying, if I can show you how to make $50,000 more a year doing absolutely nothing more than you're already doing, do I have your attention? And everyone was like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So think about that, right? So, and what is the upfront cost? It's $149 to sign up. It's $85 a month after that. And then it's $25 broker review fee, $40 E&O insurance that also caps at $500. So apples to apples, compare us to any other brokerage. We're already at the top of the heap. Look, I'm sure some of you will raise your hand if you're with 100% commission shop, but let me just tell you folks, a big part of my presentation, a big part of my understanding or my transformation into this space as a wealth creator was understanding that if you're only making money and if you're at 100%, and you're the only one, you're the only breadwinner, and you're only keeping what you catch, or you're only eating what you catch with your own two hands, I hope and pray nothing happens to your hands or your feet, because that is a very risky situation. Take it from someone who fell off his mountain bike and broke his hip in 2011, couldn't get out of bed for a month, couldn't walk without a walker for 6 months. Okay, 6 months I couldn't put weight on my leg. And it was really a 10-year nightmare after that. But I'm better, I'm feeling better. I jump in cold water, I'm hiking mountains again, I'm doing okay. But when I was doing that, showing 50, 60 houses a week, and you can't get out of bed, you can't sell houses, right? You can't go on listing presentations if you can't walk. And so I couldn't walk, I couldn't drive, I couldn't even get out of bed. And thankfully, I had residual income. I mean, it was just enough too. I mean, it was not a lot of money. It was nothing like I'm making today. It was probably $2 or $3 grand a month. I mean, that's still life-changing money. I mean, that was my rent. That was my car payment, right? That just barely kept us afloat as a family. My wife was working with me. We didn't have health insurance. We didn't pay our taxes very good. We didn't do, what typical real estate agents, right? We were just making money, spending money, broke, make more money, spend more money. Now we're broke again, and just kind of rinse and repeat. They call it feast and famine. It's this up and down, snap your fingers. 1 year goes by, snap your fingers, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years goes by, and you're no further along in your real estate career than you were in your first year. And so we wanted to break the cycle of pain. We wanted to get agents off the hamster wheel and allow you to start to create wealth. So let's talk about the revenue share for a second, because the revenue share is, in my opinion, one of the best ways that you can start building wealth for you and your family. Okay. Revenue share means the company is sharing revenue with you. It's sharing their part of the revenue with you. It's not taking revenue away from agents and giving it to you, because a lot of people get a little squeamish around this topic because they start thinking, well, I don't want to make money off other agents. All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to call BS on that, right? Because raise your hand if you've ever collected a referral fee in real estate. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, you actually did take money off of another agent's plate, right? You took 25 to 35% of their deal. Okay. So you do take money off of the plate of other agents. Don't give me that. All right. But in this case, you're actually just taking money away from what the company normally keeps. Every other brokerage out there, they keep that money. Okay. EXP shares it with us if we help them grow. All right. So you don't have to do this, by the way, guys. I'm telling you, don't do this. Just let Christina and me and Jeff Hannon do it all. Okay. We'll be the ones that grow this company. I'm happy to do it. All right. Because it makes me very wealthy. What'd you say, Christina?
Already doing it, bro.
Yeah, she ain't gonna slow her down.
I'll bring them all. I mean,
yeah, so take them all. Because here's the deal, folks. We're not pushing this at the corporate level. We're not telling everybody they need to do this. As a matter of fact, not a lot of people take max advantage of this. And so the opportunity is still huge to jump in and do this. But it's so lucrative, you'd be silly not to. And here's how lucrative it is. Every single person you bring in, if they are a capper, okay, so a capper in our organization, again, is about $3 million a year in sales. So if you bring in a capper, you're going to earn $2,800 in revenue share per year per capper. So let's say you bring in 10 cappers, right? 10 people who sell, roughly, $3 million a year in sales. Okay. That's $2,800 per person per year. That's $28,000. If you bring in 100 cappers, that's $280,000. That's just from tier 1. All right. So tier 2, you can earn up to $3,200. Tier 3, tier 4, and all the way up to tier 7. But look at tier 7. It's actually $4,000 per capper. That's a lot of money. I'll put this in perspective. As a matter of fact, and I see Christina's wearing her Cardone Capital hat today. I love that hat. And so Cardone Capital is a real estate fund. Okay, you can invest in it. So I've recently invested into Cardone Capital. My return on my investment is somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 8%. Okay. So I'll probably make between 8 and 10 grand a month. And that's after investing, $2+ million. All right. So $2+ million returns about 8 to 10 grand a month. But listen, I'm making 10 times that in EXP revenue share. Okay. And I didn't have $500,000 to invest or 2 million to invest back in the day. Right. I do now thanks to EXP, but I didn't always. And so if you don't have $500,000 or $1 million to invest to get that kind of return, here's another alternative. Just start bringing agents into a great brokerage that's going to change their life. Bring them on a Zoom call, introduce them to me, introduce them to Suzanne, introduce them to Christina, and we'll help bring them in. We'll explain the model to them just like we're explaining it to the folks on the call today. All right. Now let me do this. This is a lot of numbers, a lot of moving pieces. It's always better if I can kind of explain how the numbers flow. So I'm just going to actually show you guys and gals this little rev share calculator that we put to, and actually this isn't a company calculator. Some some agent out there created this. It's just online. Again, if you read the fine print, it's not an official company calculator. And the reason why it's not is because EXP is not trying to make any income claims. Listen, folks, you might join EXP and make $0. Okay, you might sell 0 houses. You might bring in 0 people. You're not going to earn any stock and you're not going to get any residual income. And it's very possible. I know people who have joined this company and not made any money. But I also know people who've joined this company and gotten after it and sold houses and told their friends about it. And now they're making, you know, 10, 50, 100, $500,000 a month. So it is possible. And it doesn't take millions of people to make that kind of money. It just takes a handful. Okay. And I'm going to show you how the numbers work. So let's just use some really basic scenarios. You know, we could flex this up and down, but if I put in too big of a number, it's going to get ridiculous. So let's keep this really small. Let's say the average sale for the year, the average volume in sales for the year is $1 million a year. So that doesn't matter how much you sell. This is just everybody in your entire organization over the course of their year. We're going to say average sale $1 million. All right. So 4 deals, $250K, 3% average commission. All right. Everybody on the call, think of a number. Okay. How many real estate professionals do you currently know? And I want you to think of ones that you can think of off the top of your head, ones that you've done deals with, that are in your cell phone, that you're Facebook friends with, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. Okay. WhatsApp, you know, whatever. Think about all the real estate agents that you know. Okay. Now, also think about all the successful people that you know. All right. And all the movers and shakers that you know, and the title reps and the mortgage reps and all these people. Guess what? They all know real estate agents too. And all you got to do is tell them what you're doing, because they'll tell other people what you're doing, because nobody's doing what we're doing. All right. And they get excited about it. The mortgage and the title people, when they see this model, they get really excited. You know what they actually say to me? They go, man, I should go get my real estate license. What am I doing slinging loans? I should be doing this with you. I know everybody, right? Or the really smart business people, they get it too, right? The Sharon and Michael Lecters of the world, right? They wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They wrote Outwitting the Devil. You know, they're part of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, right? So Sharon and Michael Lecter, crushing it. You know, they got a 50,000 acre ranch in northern Arizona. I mean, they are living the life. They got the big PV mansion. They took one look at this model that I'm sharing with you right now that's on the screen, and they said, well, Sharon said, Michael, you're going to get your license so we can do this. Elena and Grant Cardone, same way, right? They saw this model, and Elena said, I'll go get my license to do this. Now, the Cardones are crushing it. They manage billions in real estate assets. They've got multiple companies. They're doing events all over the world. They travel, they're busy, they got families, they're doing things. And they went and got their license so they could do this. So I'm just saying, think about that. Like, why would these super successful people, they don't need another business. They have zero time. I mean, if you think you're busy, spend a day with freaking Grant Cardone or Elena Cardone, all right? You're not busy, I promise. You do not have too much on your plate. I thought I had too much on my plate, and I went and spent a weekend with them, and I came home, and you could ask my wife, I'm like, man, I'm being a sucker. Like, I'm at 10X growth con. I'm watching these people that are in their 60s and 70s and 80s, and they're working on their next $1 billion, and they're running around the world in private jets. And I'm sitting here going, I'm 46 and I'm acting like I'm retired because I got 50 million bucks. You know, so listen, I've got a long way to go to catch those folks, and I'm going to catch them, right? Because that's what I do. I set my sights high, and then I catch them, and then I pass them. Okay. I've always done that. I did it in sports. I did it in life, and I'm doing it in business. So how many people do you think you can introduce to this opportunity out of that number that you thought of? How many of those real estate agents can you introduce to EXP? Think of it, write it down. Could be 100, could be 1,000, whatever. I'm going to put 4 in to your front line. This means you brought in 4 people in your first year. Okay. Let's just say you're not this good. You're not good. You just bring in 4 people. Let's just pretend you don't even try. You just you're not telling anybody. You're not even, and let's just say your 4 bring in 1 each. So you bring in 4, they bring in 1 each. You got 8 people. Everyone's doing $1 million a year. This is your yearly passive. It's $4,400. All right. You know, I mean, you know, you're not going to retire yet. But if you look, the reason why I did that is because I want you to understand how this model works. I put a 4 on level 1 for a reason. If I go back to this slide what you see over here on this right-hand side, this FLQA count needed, this means you have to have producers. So what you saw in the calculator is you're getting that big number on level 1, you're getting that $4,200 because you're getting the full 3.5%. But on level 2, because you're only at 4, you're only getting 0.2%. So that's why you're only making $240 on level 2, right? Well, how do you get the level 2? I want this number, Brian. I want this 3.8 number. You just need one more person. So there's power in the number 5. That means every 5 producers that you personally add to your front line, you unlock this exponential share bonus, gets added to the expansion share bonus for a total. So if the total on level 2 is now 4% once you bring in one more person. So watch what happens to that 240 number. I'm just going to add one additional person to my front line. Watch that level 2 income. Oh, okay. That's interesting, right? So I just bring in one more person who brings in one more person. Now I got 11. Hey, that's $1,000 a month practically, right? There's a really nice car payment. Okay. There's a really, really nice trip every weekend, a staycation every month, right? Or whatever, tuition, whatever, right? It's a lot of money. You can pay some bills with that money. And all you did was bring in a crummy 5 people who brought in one person each. So you got 10 people in your group. It's not a lot. Okay. Now, just to kind of play this out, I'm just going to share with you. I'm going to use the growth matrix of 1. Growth matrix. Growth matrix means everybody in your entire organization just brings in one person. Okay. They're just going to bring in their sister-in-law. Right? Everybody, come on, everyone can bring in their sister-in-law, right? That's easy. Your parents, your cousin, your friend. You know, I got my brother on the call today. He's got his license. I got my best friend from growing up's got his license. Jeremy Moss, he's on the call. You know, I'm able to bring in. You want people coming into real estate. The old announcer from my high school basketball game, Rick Kagan. I think Rick's on the call today. He went and got his license. So not just people in real estate, but you can get people into real estate. I give out 50 scholarships to real estate school last year. Anyways, so everybody just brings in one person and you're the only person who adds people. Watch this. Maybe your first year you bring in 5, maybe your second year you bring in another 5. Now you're at 10 people. Now look at your yearly. Now that 10 opened up level 3, right? Now you still see the small numbers on levels 4, 5, and 6. So 10 gets you 3, 15 gets you 4, 20 gets you level 5, 25 gets you level 6. So watch what happens. This could be a good, let's call this your 5-year plan. Bring in 5 people a year for 5 years, okay? That's it. 5 people a year for 5 years. 5 years from now, and everybody else is terrible at this. Look at your yearly. Okay, that's not bad. Now you can take a weekend off or 2. Now you can think about retirement and paying some bills, missing a few sales, striking out. You know what happens when you get 2 real estate togethers in a room? What do they talk about? What do we always talk about? You get 2 real estate agents in a room together. What's the first thing that they start talking about? Christina, pop your mic on. What do they talk about?
our deals, what's happening?
Which deals?
The ones that are sucking.
The ones that fell apart, right? I mean, get 2 real estate agents in the room together and they immediately start talking about all the deals they lost, right? Yeah. So listen, folks, this steady income, right? Everyone's like, I got a steady income, Brian. I can't do that thing. I'm like, this is my steady income, right? It shows up every month, okay? So this steady income, this $10,000 a month, this ain't bad. You know, now you can start saving. Now you can start investing in Culhane capital, like Christina's had, or other things, or buying stocks, or doing whatever, right? Saving for a rainy day. That's not a lot of people, right, folks? Now, here's where it gets exciting, though. Your people don't just camp out at 1. So let's just pretend 5 years from now, your entire organization, they only bring in 2 people over those 5 years. You still brought in your 25. Everyone else brings in 2 people on average. Some will bring in 100, some will bring in none, all right? But it averages out. Now, whoa, that just changed the game a little bit, right? That's a year, okay? That should be everybody's goal in here. 5 people a year for 5 years and help your people bring in 2 each. That is not hard, okay? There are people that are making this a month almost, all right? I know more than 1, and they weren't president or one of the founders, right? They just came over a couple of years ago. They just get after it. They understand this model. They have They had done this before at other brokerages. They were part of other direct sales companies or whatever. So they understood the power of the force multiplier. Because what happens is once you start planting those frontline seeds, then you're basically growing money trees. You're basically growing a money tree farm that's going to grow and spread more seeds and more seeds and more seeds. And pretty soon you couldn't stop this orchard of money trees from growing if you tried, right? I've got, 2,000 plus people. I've only brought in like 50. I'm not that good at this. I'm just okay. There's much better people than me at this. Yes, soon I'll be the best, but I'm just now starting to really focus on this because even though I was the president for 3 years and the chief culture officer for 3 years, I didn't even understand how big of an opportunity I had in my own hands, and I helped create it, So it took me a minute to get it, but now I got it and I'm not turning back, all right? But this is the power of the revenue share. Any questions on the revenue share model before we move on? Any comments? Anybody want to pop their mic on and share a quick testimonial on how the rev shares changed their life at all? Jeff, Christina?
I can. I mean, let's talk about like my very first experience with revenue sharing. I will never forget my biggest check. My very first biggest check was like $800. And it was during Black Friday, the week of Black Friday, shopping for Christmas for my family. And it was the first time I can remember in my career that I didn't have to reach into our physical pockets to put Christmas presents under the table for our kids. And it was life-changing for us at the time. So I've been with this company for almost 4 years now. So that was my very first year's experience. But now here we are almost 4 years later. And it's what I will make this year in revenue sharing is what I made at a very nice corporate salary job that I had in corporate recruiting before real estate. So that's life-changing. I'm in St. Thomas right now for 2 weeks with my family, and I can travel literally anywhere because of revenue share. It is life-changing.
That's right. What's so funny, and thank you for sharing that. What's so funny is, when you're like pinned under a bus, like in a car accident or something, or like you're trapped in the basement of just getting out of the basement's life-changing, right? I just got to get out of this ground floor garden apartment that I stare out at a parking lot all day, and I'm eye level with a sewer system. I just want to get out of that's life-changing. And then you're like, well, now what would be the next level of life? Maybe I want to move up a couple floors and have a better view. That would be life-changing. And then it's like, I'm in this, now I'm like, well, all right, my life's changed. We just bought a 13-acre ranch up in Sedona. We're building a multi-million-dollar house with an indoor basketball court. I'm like, well, what's my next life-changing event? That's, it's like you almost can't even fathom the level of life-changing that you're about to embark on because you're all still pinned under the bus.
It's absolutely incredible. We just bought our first investment property too, and none of that would have been able to be. And I feel like where you're talking about the levels of jumping, which is could be like your bucket list or like your dream board or like the little steps now become like giant steps. And that's done through this model and through the collaboration. Yeah.
Your BHAGs don't look so BHAGgy anymore, do they? Right.
I need some bigger goals. Right? I need some way bigger goals.
Bigger goals, right? At some point, folks, this becomes a goal writing exercise. Life becomes just keep setting a series of bigger goals. And if you don't have any goals, call me. I'll share some of my goals with you. But and my wife will tell you this. Glenn, when I first got hired, the first thing he told me to do was write a business plan and set goals. And I was like, all right, I want to make X amount a year and I want to do this. And he goes, and make sure you include fun goals, health goals, family goals. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? That's crazy talk. Business plan with fun goals in it? Like, this is weird, and but lo and behold, he was absolutely right. And I'll swear to you, I could share it with you if I can find it, but I have all the goals. My wife and I would get together, once a year. I'd see her. No, once a year we get together over a glass of wine on New Year's Eve, and we'd literally take out a big, cardboard thing, and we'd start writing out our goals. Back then it was just me and her when we were dating, and now it's our whole family. So we have everybody do it. I got 3 kids now, so we all do our goals. And it's so funny is I used to write these goals, and now I go back and look at some of those 2008 goals and some of those 2009 goals, every single thing is crossed off, right? But it might not have been in 2010, but believe me, a couple of years later, now I go back, every single goal is nailed. And so now I'm in this constant state of like, I need bigger goals. I need bigger goals. So even last year, we had one house. My wife and I wrote down own 5 houses. Well, this year we're building 2 and we own 2. And I help my sister and my brother buy houses. So, add those together. But, and then I've also invested $3 million into a multifamily fund, and I've got a fund with Tarek El Moussa that I invested in. So I'm, those are goals that, I literally wrote down last year and they seemed outrageous. And within a year, I've hit them. And so it's just starting to accelerate for us. But, we're just getting started too, right? I'm just getting started. I'm actually having a sort of I'm come back to EXP. I continuously do this, right? Like I kind of, I get a little this and that, and I start focusing on some other stuff. And then I go, oh my God, I'm missing the boat. I got to come back and do this. And I also need to do this for my agents and the people that have already come over. So, all right, that's enough about rev share, unless anybody else has any question about rev share. Now, listen, I don't want to say you have to do this, you should do this, but let's pretend you don't want to take advantage of the revenue share. You believe all the misinformation out there. Your old broker tells you, oh, they're just a network market. They're just a pyramid scheme. Good luck over there. Well, here's the reality about that, by the way. Why are we the scheme? Because we share money with our agents, and the good guys and girls are the ones that keep it all. Like, I'll never understand that. Why am I a scheme? Why am I a part of a scheme? Like, does that make any sense? Like this scheme has changed my life. It's elevated me out of a gutter, sleeping on a blow up mattress in my neighbor's house, when I first moved out here with all my clothes in a garbage bag. Right. So I don't know if it's a scheme, folks. It seems to work pretty good. And not just for me, it seems to be working for a lot of folks, but let's pretend you don't do that. You want no part of that dirty business. Okay. Let's just talk about ways you can get wealthy just selling houses. So let's say you just want to focus on sales. You come over and you just put your head down and you take the tools, take the training, you collaborate with other agents around the world and internationally and in your own local market. You become a better agent through the tools, the training, the support, the calendar, all that stuff. And you do start closing deals. Well, now you can earn stock, and you can earn stock 5 ways. All 5 of them are based in production. Okay. So let's go over the first 3. Sustainable equity plan. All right. Sustainable equity plan means these are 3 events that can happen that you can get stock awards. So the first one is when you do your first transaction of the year, you actually get $200 worth of stock. So every year, first transaction, $200 worth of stock. Thank you very much. You're now a shareholder. And we did that on purpose. We want you to feel better. We want you to elevate your mindset, elevate your vibration level. Second one down, you earn shares when you cap. So when you become a capper at EXP, you get $400 worth of stock. All right, it's not bad. All right, and by the way, it's not bad. When I capped at my other brokerage, they'd give me a little plastic trophy or whatever, right?
Sometimes you get a hat.
Yeah, or hat, or like a paper certificate. We give you paper certificates too. They just have money attached. They're like monetized. They're stock certificates, right? And the third one is you earn stock when everybody you sponsor does their first deal. That's awesome, right? Used to get a little pat on the back. Hey, thanks for helping us grow. This is actually, funny enough, if you can see this was my Recruiter of the Year award at HomeSmart, okay? And they bought me a rubber chicken dinner. So that was awesome. Thank you, guys. Making you guys money. I'm proud to do it. All right, so those are the first 3. Those are all vested over a 3-year period from the time of the event. Next one down, Icon Agent Award. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go to the last one, Agent Equity Program. This is actually you buying stock at a discount off of every closing. So up to 5% of your gross commish goes towards buying discounted stock. The company discounts it by 10%. So if you close a deal, the gross commission is $10,000. You're taking $500 out and you're buying $600 worth of stock for it. All right. So you just made money just buying it. Now you have to opt into this program. I would not opt out. Right? Like I know a lot of agents that are kicking themselves for not opting into this, especially when the stock went up like ridiculous, like 3,000% last year. And then it split. So you would have gotten double the amount of shares last year that you were holding on to. So believe me, a lot of people were kicking themselves, but the ones that did do this program, they're making a lot. They're very happy. And then the middle one that I saved for the last is the best. This is the best award you can get. It's called the Icon Agent Award. This is where if you do a significant amount of transactions or a significant amount of volume, you can actually get your cap back as stock. So you can actually get $16,000 worth of stock back if you are a top producer at EXP. And by that,
Brian Culhane, can I speak on that real quick?
Please go ahead. Absolutely.
Hey, so guys, this is John Maserli, and I'm in Chicago right now. Sorry, I'm on the cell phone, but I never want to miss these Zooms that Brian does every week. I just became an Icon agent. You guys can look me up on Facebook. Just look up John Maserli, and I did a video on it. I mean, it's unbelievable. The company just awarded me $16,000 worth of stock. I was at Coldwell Banker. I was at a company called At Properties in Chicago. I was a high producer there. They gave me a trophy. I mean, it's just unreal that this company just gave me $16,000 basically in cash. Yeah, and it's unreal. And I'm on my way to becoming an icon again. And it's just a great opportunity. There's no other company that rivals this. So just kind of wanted to speak on that.
Let's do the math on that. So John got 500, $30 a share, we'll call it. He got 533 shares. So if you take $16,000, let's just say 500 shares roughly. So he just earned 500 shares of stock. Let's say it goes up to 100, right? Or some point, let's say times 100, now he's at $53,000. Right? Or where the stock splits and now he's got 1,000 shares and then it goes up, or it splits again and goes up. That $16,000 think of that as an investment. I'll even put it in a bigger, had you been an Icon agent in the first year we had the program, in 2015 was the first year you could have been an Icon. It would have been 53,000 shares because I think the average stock price was 30 cents a share. So it would have been 53,000 shares that would have doubled 106,000. That's now, it'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 million.
So they did. I was at a lunch and learn yesterday, and they did that math. And they actually, Robert Craig was there, and Robert Craig he was one of the first EXP agents in Illinois, and he was saying that when the stock opened, it was 18 cents, and there were some people that became Icon, and literally their $16,000 is worth like what Brian just said, like $4 million. I mean, it's just nuts. So if this stock does go to, Zoom levels, or it goes to like Tesla or Google or
the moon,
it's just crazy what it can be worth.
Yeah.
And you're not, I'm not paying for it. It's just a gift, and it's not a trophy, and it's not a Starbucks gift card.
You're just selling houses.
$16,000.
You sell those houses at any other brokerage, you don't get it. You get the pat on the back, and they are the ones that go off to the month-long vacations in the Caribbean, like Christina. Or they're the ones who buy the Ferraris and send their kids to private school, and they give you rubber chicken dinners for helping them, right?
There's no tricks to it. We're proof. I got it last year. I'm on track this year. Every year, that's my goal. Icon. We sell real estate at EXP.
So if you're selling in the neighborhood of like 14, 15 million a year, or you're doing a lot of units, it's actually 20 deals after cap. That is an Icon for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So this is how you get
30, was it 36, 35 or 36 last year? So you think about it closing a week in my market.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just to clarify, guys, this has zero to do with recruitment. All it has to do with production. So Christina, me, there's a lot of other people here that are Icon agents. We also attract agents as well, but we work hard selling homes, and EXP rewards us for it.
Hey, Rick, are you there? Rick Kagan? Turn your mic on, Rick.
Yes.
Show everybody what your shirt says. It's just math, folks. Right? Just add this up. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Rick's, don't take Christina's. Just do the math.
But also I want to say, Brian, is that as sponsors, we are here to help all of you that we brought in, even if we didn't bring you in. Abundance is everywhere, and we're all one big company. We're all shareholders of this company internationally in 22 countries now. And if you say, well, I want to be an icon, but I'm not sure how, we will walk you. We will not abandon you. We will make sure you get there. I stick with everyone I bring in, every team I bring in, every little company I bring in. And that's my job now as Brian said, we've been here since the beginning, and all I do is take care of those people, and it is so much fun. It is like a gift. It is a gift to give it away. And we're making money, but also we are opening up the door. Glenn said this, Brian said this, and I say it. Our goal is to make as many millionaires as fast as we can out of our real estate company that God will let us have.
That's it. Hey, Vince Hopper, are you on the call, brother? Vince Hopper, first state broker for Indiana. Vince, you're probably doing okay in the stock, aren't you? I don't know if Vince is listening or not, but if you can turn your mic on, Vince, go for it. Good to see you, brother. So we've got a lot of people on this call that are probably millionaires because of this company. As a matter of fact, I asked Glenn, we were talking about, when Glenn and I get together, we rarely talk about real estate. We talk about a lot of, big stuff, big ideas. And I was kind of asking him, he's asking me what my purpose was. And, my purpose is to help people, help as many people as humanly possible. That's my purpose. But he said, I go, what's your purpose? He said, to make more millionaires in real estate than any other company in history. I mean, he didn't even miss a beat. He was just like, to create more millionaires than any other company in history. And I was like, wow. And we are well on our way. And now what is money? Like, all right, Brian, money's dirty. Money's bad. Money's money. Well, no, money to me is just my capacity to help more people. It just increases my ability. It gives me more freedom. At the end of the day, money is freedom. I am free. They said, if you watch Grant Cardone videos, he talks about to be free, to truly free, you need to be at least worth $5 million. Okay. That is like the bare minimum to be free in today's, with, all the, inflation and everything factored in. If you want to really retire and be financially and time free, it's going to be, you need to have about a net worth of over $5 million. Okay. Well, unfortunately in real estate, again, we're all hand to mouth. We're killing deals and we're cooking up the deals, and then we got to go out and kill more deals and cook up more deals. We're like hunter gatherers, and this is the ability to become a sustenance farmer. I don't know. Anyways, become a farmer, become an agrarian real estate agent, not a hunter gatherer. They talk about using the whole buffalo. It's very romantic. They use the whole buffalo. You know why they use the whole buffalo? Because they didn't know when the next buffalo was coming. That's why real estate agents go to 100% shops, because they got to use all that commission. Because you know what? They don't know when their next deal is coming in. They've got a scarcity mindset. Come have an abundance mindset. It's not, you shouldn't be asking your brokerage, how much money am I going to keep? You should be asking your brokerage, how much money are you going to help me make? Not how much money are you going to let me keep? That's your money. You should be thinking, how much possible money, how much wealth can I create? It is your duty to be successful. It is your duty to create financial and time freedom for you and your family. Stop everything else you're doing, because you're wasting your freaking time. And by the way, the time is the only thing you have. It's the only thing you can't get back, by the way. All right. You can get your health back. You can get your wealth back. You can get your relationships back if you want them. But you can't get your time back. And that's the only commodity as real estate agents we have to give. Hey, Kyle Israel, are you still on? Big Kyle, what's up, man? Are you still on? Can you turn your mic on? So we got a lot of great people on the call. I'm just going to kind of go around the room in a minute, but I just want to finish off the slide deck before we do that. And if anybody else wants to share a testimonial, maybe pop into the text chat that you want to share, and I'll call on you in a second. But we also have healthcare. So we have a great exchange. I'm saving money for a family of 5. I know a lot of great stories. We had somebody in my organization, Lisa Copeland, who broke her neck and her arm in an ATV accident, and she was on our health plan, and she was blown away by how good it was. And so believe me, folks, I've been dealing with a lot of medical issues and spent a lot of money on healthcare and health insurance, and this is the best one I've ever found. It's great. We got great tools, great training. I mean, just the tools product package alone, the technology package is that alone is worth probably most of your cap. If you just look at our CRM system, we give out KV Core platform alone is like $6,000-$7,000 a year. That's almost half your cap in one tool that we give you, and that's yours for your $85 a month fee. SkySlope, we got Workplace, we've got the 3D Cloud Office platform is amazing. Enterprise is your back-end tracking system. This tracks your deals, tracks your stock, tracks your downline, tracks your equity. It's awesome. By the way, where's our equities tracked? It's a Morgan Stanley platform called ShareWorks. So again, we're either creating or we're using the best tools in the business. Okay. And if there isn't a tool out there, best believe this company is going to create it. We're like the Google of real estate. If there's something good out there, we're going to just copy it, create it, and make it better. All right. This is and we're only 11 years old. Like, that's the craziest thing about it. Like, we are a brand new company. So
Brian, you can also share the fact that, yes, we are a brand new company, but we are also going to grow larger this year than it took us that entire time to grow. And I think that's a really good point to hit on.
100%. We will grow. So let me say that again in a different way. So it took us 11 years to get to 55,000 agents. In the next probably less than 12 months, we'll add that many agents in less than a year. So we'll actually double in less than a year from now. So we'll add more agents in the next 12 months than we had in the last 12 years.
I have a quick question, Brian. So can you elaborate a little bit on the mentorship? Because you can also do classes and earn a little bit of money. So that's an extra,
Great question. Yeah, no, that's a great question, Brandon. As a matter of fact, someone added it up the other day. When you look at all the stuff that EXP has available for you, like some of these partnerships that we have, some of these are additional income streams. If you add the stock, the ways you can earn stock, 5 different ways. When you add the residual income, that's another way. The mentor program, what Brandon just brought up. So let's say, you just maybe like Suzanne, you have a great, you were an educator. Suzanne was a teacher and a math teacher, I think, right, Suzanne? So Suzanne was a teacher in her former life. She likes to mentor. She likes to help, young, hungry agents get better in real estate. Well, we'll actually compensate her for that. We created a full-scale mentor program. So new agents get paired with senior agents that are productive. They're not just,
And they pay me personally 10% of every out of the company dollar, or 10% actually of what those agents make. And the reason why it's important, guys, if you have time to mentor, it takes like 3 hours to take the mentor program, and you take it in the EXP world and you know what you're doing and how to do it. But we are desperate for mentors. We're desperate in every state. We need more mentors. And if you bring in people and they have not done about 8 to 12 or 10 deals a year, then they need a mentor. It's not just the brand new ones.
Yeah, I think it's less than 2 deals in the last 12 months. We do require that they be with a mentor. And that's also, again, I think some of you probably heard this, but we get a bad rap. Like, we're not productive. They're not where the producers go. And that is the biggest crock of what. We actually are where the producers go. And we make a point to only want producers, or we train them, or we require they work with people that are producers so that they can become producers themselves. And I'll just share with you this slide. Tell me we're not producers, right? Number 1 for top independents, number 1 for top movers in transaction, number 2 for volume, number 3 for closed transactions, number 4 for closed volume. This is in the entire industry. So we're consistently in the top 10 of every major production category. Okay, so let's end that myth right now. All right, we are not just a body shop. We're not just about recruiting agents. The only reason why it feels like recruiting is so important is because it's so friggin' lucrative that you'd be silly not to do it. So that's why we're doing this.
Brian,
go ahead.
I want to mention, talk about how, just being an EXP agent or being with EXP, the power of being with our brokerage is worldwide, in every country we're in, every state we're in, and how you're only paying one cap.
Yeah, I mean, you almost can't put a value on international collaboration. I think there's a few folks on this call today that are in other countries in my organization, and I've got 100+ agents in India. I got a couple hundred in Mexico. I got a couple in Portugal now. I got agents in Australia and the UK. Oh, by the way, those are also friends. Those are people I can visit. Now I got friends and happy, smiling faces in all these countries that I can take my family and kids and go vacation, and they can show me around like I'm a local. That's one of the biggest challenges of traveling internationally is you don't know anybody in that area. So you got to trust your vacation guide, or you got to trust some company, or you just get there and, who knows, believe me, folks, I went to Mexico and got in a van, and next thing I know is like this unofficial petting zoo. And I got bit by a Siberian tiger cub on my foot because I was in some off-road petting zoo. So I got bit by a tiger. I don't know if anybody else did, but I got that on my resume. But that was me kind of not knowing anybody in town. This was a couple of years ago, but I didn't know anybody in town, so I just jumped in a van and went to some off-road petting zoo. And so anyways, it's good to have friends in every part of the country and every part of the world.
And also, I just want to mention, Brian, that we do have Spanish, a Spanish presentation. We have
Yes.
multiple level languages coming in.
Yeah, no, as a matter of fact, that's a great point, Suzanne. Everybody gets a bunch of tools. One of your tools is is your attraction website. So my attraction website, or for anybody that's with EXP and doesn't know, it's just your first name, last name. So first/last.exprealty.careers, right? And what's really cool, what Suzanne was just talking about, is a lot of these presentations now are in multiple languages. So for example, we've got a Canadian slide deck, we got the English, the Spanish version. So, and then now they're just building them for every country. Michael Valdez, who was the growth leader for Realogy, which is like the #2 biggest real estate organization in the world. He is now the president of EXP Global. He said we're opening up 3 or 4 countries a quarter. He said that he literally had somebody say to him that we are changing the landscape in Mexico. We are changing the way business is being done in Europe. I mean, this company is huge, and we are so advanced and forward thinking. We're changing the game. Anybody else want to share?
I have an agent right now in Colombia that she's been doing everything in Spanish, working with a Colombian broker. She's currently there right now, and we're growing internationally, but she has been doing EXP Explains in Spanish. So like for anybody that has somebody that doesn't speak English and needs the Spanish version, we have people right in our partnership, all over the world essentially. So.
Oh, this company's so freaking cool on so many different levels. I mean, you can find communities within here that anything that you're into, there's probably groups of people that are into it that you can connect with, collaborate with. I'll share with you a really cool tool that I find a lot of value in is Workplace. So EXP Workplace, which everyone who's a part of EXP gets added to, this is basically Facebook. It's every bell and whistle of Facebook, except it's a closed EXP ecosystem, and it's agent driven. And also all of our staff is on here. So if you have questions, you can talk to your broker, talk to leaders, talk to Glenn Sanford. I was just chatting with Glenn yesterday about some interesting stuff. I've got all kinds of different team groups I've started. I've got my own page. Let's say you want to learn more about luxury real estate. So you jump on here, you search for luxury, right? There's tons of luxury conversations that you can get people. Maybe you want to be a part of a commercial conversation, or you want to get into doing more commercial real estate. Well, we just launched a commercial brokerage. So now we have that, and you could come find out that and learn more about that. And basically everything you can imagine. There's referrals happening in here. Anybody in here got a referral from somebody else at EXP?
Yeah, definitely. I did, Brian. I've had 3 referrals, 2 in Las Vegas and 1 in Los Angeles.
That's Steven?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah. This is the real deal, folks. We got, and by the way, because we are still relatively young and new, and, we have not saturated every single market, you might join and like Christina, you might join in St. Louis or somewhere where there's not a lot of agents, and all of a sudden you're the face of St. Louis for EXP, and you go to the conferences, you go to the events, and now everybody's going to start sending you their referrals because you're one of the first agents.
I get referrals on a weekly basis. I have built so many relationships inside of Workplace. It has been a #1 tool for me to help grow and connect with other agents, and they literally tag me in all these groups all day long.
So I see some.
There and build.
So I see some names of some of my leaders. Henish, are you in here, brother? You got your mic?
Here, yeah. How you doing?
Hey, do you want to give a shout out or a testimonial? I mean, here's a guy who owns a construction company in Orange County, San Diego market. He's killing it. He had a big team of agents, and he brought his business over to EXP. How's it been going for you since?
Yeah, it was up and down over COVID. I was a little scared for a while, but then shoot, the market was hot. And so the, several million in real estate that I owned at the time all went well, which was great. But then I've kind of been slipping on my agent attraction. That's me personally, because I haven't spent any time on it. So I just started reading Building an Empire with Brian Carruthers. It's got me fired up. And I need to spend a little time on it. So I'm blocking off time to do these kind of meetings, invite people to these meetings, and do more of it in person, and at least have those conversations. Because I'll admit, I get a little bit upset and jealous when other people in my market are like, oh, I talked to such and such person and brought them over to EXP. I'm like, that person's a friend of mine. I didn't have that conversation. So it's my own fault. I can't blame anyone else for it. But my other businesses are going well, so I can't complain, but I really want this passive income. I'm like, well, I could buy apartment buildings, or I could just get agents, and agents I don't have to evict.
But overall, since you've come over, 3 years ago, life's been pretty good. You're happy with your decision, right?
100%. I mean, the stock was just the icing on the cake. I just remodeled my whole house over the last few months with just stock money.
I love that, dude. That's great. So let's see. Anybody else want to jump in, share any questions? Anybody in the audience that's seeing this for the first time have a question for me or anybody else that's talked today?
Well, Brian, I have a question about the Philippines. I have a lot of contacts in the Philippines. What's happening there?
Yeah, let me get you connected with Michael Valdez. I'll do it. Actually, watch this. Let's do this in real time. I'll show everybody how cool this is. So I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to create a workplace chat. I'm going to hit up Michael Valdez, who is our global president. And then I'm going to add Steven to the conversation because he is an EXP agent. So we'll add Steven Poletti. If it's letting me type here, where is my PHEN Poletti? And then I'm going to go, hey, Michael, Steven was wondering about us opening the Philippines. Did I spell it right? Ah, darn it. Not the best speller. What did I miss? Philippines. Whatever. He'll know what I'm talking about. So I'll shoot that off real quick. And this is the power of our organization. By the way, if you do have other detailed questions, please get with whoever invited you on this call today. If you came into this call through some me or someone in my organization, you can always reach out to me as well. And we're happy to help. And what's really cool is I do this for anybody. I don't just do this for my organization. As a matter of fact, I already named a few people that were on this call that aren't in my organization because I'm all about EXP. I'm here to help everybody. It's one big EXP family. Oh, we're all shareholders. So the better, everybody does, around the country and internationally, the better it helps me as a shareholder, right? It's huge. All right, there's Kyle. I'm gonna call on Kyle because Kyle's relatively new, but Kyle's got a really cool situation happening. Kyle, are you on? Are you able to jump on real quick? All right, no big deal if you can't. So listen, folks, if nobody has any more questions, we're going to kind of wrap for the day, but we do this every week, every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific. I also have a members only huddle up we do on Tuesdays. We've got actually now a couple classes that we teach in the cloud off. You know what? Let me do this before we wrap. One more thing I want to share. Kyle, are you back, brother?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, my grandma called me from Israel. She's going to bed soon. Sorry about that.
You got to take grandma's call. I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Kyle, you want to just share real quick kind of your story and now what you're doing with EXP? I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got in through Elena Cardone. I joined her downline. It's awesome. The first night I got in a clubhouse, Grant told me if I could sell, let me turn my camera on. Grant told me if I could sell 20 houses in my first year, I could speak on stage at 10X Growth Con. That was sick. I didn't know that was going to happen when I first joined.
How many have you sold so far?
I'm at 5. I got to step it up, but I think I can do it.
Easily. You're going to crush it.
I'd love to like kind of say like what got me to join, because obviously like I didn't know that offer was going to come. I joined because first of all, I was at Keller netting 56 and I had a deal that was about to go under contract. And I was like, dude, if you don't switch, you're going to lose thousands. And I know there's like some models out there where you can like keep 100%, but at the end of the day, you know, the rev share thing's so freaking lucrative. It's crazy. Like, you know, you can make millions passive off that, you know, millions off the hamster wheel. And, you know, you got Grant Cardone, you got, you know, the guy from HGTV, Brian, you're a badass. So like, I didn't have this support system at Keller. I didn't think I was going to get it anywhere else. So it's great. And one more thing, like, you know, for certain people, like, for example, I invited my friend Vitali to this call. You know, his girlfriend, you know, was also thinking about this opportunity. Like, imagine if one of them gets the other on their downline. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You could really, you know, I mean, it's just a hack, right? So I know it's choppy, it's windy. Sorry, guys, but
No,
I'll let Brian take over.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate the share. You know, Kyle's definitely a guy to watch out for. He's an up and comer in the game, but he's a great marketer. Follow him on Instagram. He's coming up with some really clever stuff. He's a lot like you are, Christina. He's like, he kind of shares these little.
His reels are so fun. I told him the other day.
He just did one where he was like, he like cut his head off and put it on Indiana Jones or something.
I love it, Kyle. Like, you're doing great, man.
Yeah,
so good. Keep it up.
Kyle's legit. Well, here I am in the cloud office real quick, folks. So this is the game changer of game changers. This makes everything else possible. Let's say you have a question for your broker. You would just click on broker state room, right? And let's say you're in Arizona, click on Arizona. I got a question for my broker. Well, there's my commute, right? I didn't have to look for parking. I didn't have to dress up. I didn't have to take a shower, although I did today, but I didn't have to. So now Amy's saying hi. I'm just going to say hi. Hi, Amy. I'm just showing off the office to about 60 people in a Zoom call today. So I don't know if you can wave or so,
do a backflip.
I like your cowboy. Oh, someone said, can you do a backflip? Oh, she's doing the headbang. Headbang. There we go. So all of our support staff is professional gymnastics and acrobats, and always in the cloud office, though. They can do it all. But this is how we work. We look at Katie. That's great. I don't have that dance. Wait, how do you get that dance? I'm jealous now.
Someone just said, what is this Sims amazingness?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. So like right now there's 10 staff. Oh, now they're getting nuts. Look at that. That's great. Dance off. Dance. All right. Hey, it looks like Sheila has a question. I'm going to get out of Sheila's way here. So this is the office. We work out of here. We have meetings out of here. There's state meetings every day. If you have a question, let's say like Beth, one of our managing brokers right now, is working with Denise or Dennis Salazar. Dennis is, they're actually in a little cone of silence. So I can't even hear them. They're having a private conversation. I can't even hear it. Let's say I want to go ask a question on transaction management. I can pop in here. I can pop into any other brokerage office. Anywhere I need to go to get question answered. Oh, and it doesn't take a lot of time, money, resources, doesn't take me out of my busy day. I'm literally just clicking a link. I can access my cloud office from anywhere. Christina's on vacation. She can still get work done, meet with her broker, meet with her staff. I even have my own team.
I have a question, Brian, because somebody messaged me because I shared this in my stories yesterday about how I had a question with accounting. And some agent messaged me that's now with our company and said, I don't understand. How is that any different than you sending an email?
Whew. Wow. All right. Do we have another hour?
I know, right? But my point is,
look,
it's real live time. Time.
I mean,
you're not waiting on someone else.
You can share this with them, but the reality is they've actually done studies. All right, humans we're pack animals. We like to be around other humans. Okay, it's part of our makeup. It's part of our DNA. And when we're isolated and we're sitting at home, and especially during COVID or things like that, you know, weird things start happening in our brain. All right. So we need this connectivity. Well, what's interesting is they've done studies. They've actually hooked people up to biorhythm meters and heart meters and, their whatever meters and the brain activity. And they basically tested them in phone calls, Zoom calls, and 3D immersive office environments. And what they found was that the 3D immersive office environments actually activated their brains just like being in real life. And so, I mean, it might have been a little, there's a little drop off, but versus like a Zoom call or a phone call or like an email or some intranet or something. So this is such a game changer, and it's such a great team builder platform. It keeps you connected. I mean, think about this. Everybody around the world comes into this one location every single day. I mean, the benefits of something like that are immeasurable. And I'll even share with you a really cool kind of thought experiment we did once. We were actually in the auditorium with Brad Anderson was teaching a class once. So I'm going to go into the auditorium. There's nothing going on right now in this one, but there was like 1,000 people in a meeting, okay, from all over the country. But he said, listen, folks, everybody go into the text chat right now and type in, how many years have you been in real estate? And everyone was like, right? It's just like 25, 13, 5, 2, 7, 9, like 1,000 answers. And he goes, now everyone say what market you're in. And everyone's like, Scottsdale, Chicago, Detroit, Orange County, blah, 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 all the way down, right? He goes, that took us all of 2 minutes, okay? He said, if we were in a real auditorium and we tried to get that data from every 1,000 people in the audience and then turn around and give it back to everyone so they could see the data, he said it would have taken us 2 days. That's incredible, right? Like, to have everyone write on a piece of paper, and then they would have to organize it and like graph it out and explain it and then like present it and like, just gathering it from everybody. Like, so the benefits of being in a cloud office are actually still being discovered. Like we haven't even scratched the surface of all the cool stuff. And at the end of the day, how does this matter to me? Well, let me put it this way. I had I'm going to close this because it's kind of slowing down everything. So I had a meeting in real life. It was in the West Valley. I'm in the East Valley of Arizona. It was a 1 hour meeting. Okay. It was a 11 to 12 meeting. All right. So 11 to 12. It's about 45 minutes away. Well, I started getting ready at 9 a.m. Right. So jumped in the shower, got out, did my mohawk, right. Had to make sure it was, gelled up. And then I, put on my outfit, made sure there was gas in the car, pulled it out, drove there, did the meeting. I didn't get home till, I think it was almost 3 o'clock that afternoon. All right. So for a 1 hour meeting, I literally used 5.5 hours out of my day. And it was all about that meeting, right? I wasn't making calls. I wasn't prospecting. I wasn't showing houses. I wasn't taking listing appointments. I literally spent 5 hours on a Tuesday, probably one of the most major productive time in my week. And I used it for a dumb 1 hour management meeting where we literally I could have mailed that one in. I did not need to be at that meeting, right? So I often say the days of pulling up your swivel chair around the donut box are over, okay? We don't do that anymore. If you feel like you're gonna miss that, this isn't the brokerage for you. If you need that donut box, coffee breath management meeting.
None of us need donuts.
Yeah, we don't need any more donuts.
No.
Right? We jump in cold water instead. All right. So, hey, everybody, any more questions? You know what? Someone's trying to log in. Let me let them in. But any parting thoughts? How'd I do? Bill, Jeff, any questions, comments? What are you thinking down in Tucson?
Awesome.
What about you, Jeff?
Loved it. I actually have a comment. So Tammy Egerman's on this call. She's here in Tucson. Just got her license like December 28th. She got a license. She's going to close her third deal from Workplace Monday. And these aren't small deals. Like her first deal off Workplace. Her first deal as an agent was like 850,000, 750,000, something like that. She just monitors that group and reaches out to people. And here's a strategy. Don't comment on the post. Pick up your phone and call the person that's posting. You're going to get the referral. But anyway, yeah, just the power of Workplace. Tammy, I think her first 8 clients are going to come from Workplace. That's crazy.
That's great. There's so much opportunity. I mean, I'm not taking full advantage of it. Probably nobody is. A lot of times people say, you know, how would you describe EXP in a nutshell? And I'm like, well, that'd be like trying to describe a smartphone in a minute. You know, what can a smartphone do for you? Go. You know, and it's like, well, you can call people, you can text, there's a million apps you can download, and each app is a whole nother universe. Oh, by the way, check this out. Let me share this. This is kind of cool. So check this out, folks. Look who just responded, Michael Valdez. Hi, Brian. The Philippines is difficult for our model at the moment. We did significant due diligence on the laws of editing. All right. So Steven, go check that out. Maybe respond. But that shows you right there, the real-time support. That's the president of EXP Global responding in real time to a question from an agent that he never met. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw that come through.
How cool is that?
That's way cool.
Right. So that is the power of EXP demonstrated in real time. You know, if he wanted to get that question answered at a rheology, I don't even know where you would know to go, right? Steven, like, where would you have asked that question? Like, what office would you have gone into, at Keller? Like, what franchise which franchise owner would you picked up the phone to call, right? So listen, there's a lot of great brokers out there. I'm not talking bad about anybody, but what I am here to say is you're not going to find a better opportunity to grow wealth, grow your business, and increase your personal, financial, and time freedom like you can at EXP. So if you do find one, come tell me about it and I'll go with you. How about that?
Me too. You better tell me.
Hey, Brian, I have something to add, Angie Coder.
Go ahead, Angie.
So I don't know if you mentioned, but EXP has a relocation division, a reload division. So I took that training and now I'm part of that, so that you also have clients coming to you, you know, they're relocating here and or moving. So you may have a listing through it or buyers coming into town. So
love that. And it looks like it's a closed group. So it's cool that you gotta kind of qualify to get in there and take some training. I love that.
That's
Same
awesome.
with it being a mentor, by the way. You got to take a mentor course. You got to learn how to be a mentor before you just become a mentor. But folks, there is so much going on in here. It's impossible to describe everything. The best thing I can say is, you know, get an invite from somebody that you're talking to, come into the cloud office, take some classes, take some trainings, or just sign up today and try it out, because here's the reality. Your brokerage will always take you back. Okay. You can always go back to XYZ brokerage. What's the risk? What's the downside? You know, $150, you got to change some business cards and some signs. You know, keep your old business cards, keep your old signs. You can always go back to your old brokerage. But if I'm right, and this is what I say it is, think about the possibilities. Think about the life-changing relationships you're going to meet. You know, I've started 5 companies outside of real estate with people that I met at EXP. 5 different companies we've started. Some of them are real estate related. You know, Henish and I started a transaction coordination company because we had a lot of agents who wanted transaction coordination. We said, well, gosh, let's start a business together. So that's the power of this opportunity. I've been finding investment deals through EXP. I'm meeting really cool people that are inspiring me to want to get better. I mean, it's an accountability program. You know, think about having 500 people or 100 people in your downline. You know, you're going to start doing things differently. You know, it's really easy to hide from yourself. It's easy to hide from your spouse. Yeah, honey, I'm going to work today. Bye. Check my Facebook for a couple hours, you know, send a few emails. Hey, honey, how'd it go today? Oh, boy, it's tough out there. Shoot. Well, I'm going to go back tomorrow and send some more emails and check some more Facebook stuff. But boy, it's tough. You know, like, it's easy to fake out 1 or 2 people in your life. But when you have thousands of people in your organization and you say, I'm going to be on a Zoom call at 10 a.m. every Thursday, like, you can't miss that. You know, if I miss this week, none of these 60 or 70 people show up next week. You know, so it holds me accountable. It makes me be better. It makes me elevate my profile. It makes me add more to my plate. It makes me want to be better so that my people can look at me and go, I want to do what he's doing. I want to go buy 13 acres of Red Rock National Forest so I can build my dream home on it like Brian did, right? Because that's what I'm trying to do, folks. I'm trying to live by example. I'm trying to lead by example. And I'm trying to live the best life possible so that I can show everyone else, I can do this, you can do this, right? I'm a busboy and a waiter from Chicago. My dad was a limo driver and a starving artist. My mom was a junior high nurse. Okay, I was not born on third base. I did not have a bunch of great contacts that gave me a job at Cushman Wakefield out of college. You know, I went to 4 colleges in 5 years. I weighted tables on the side. You know, all I know is hustle and struggle. Well, I don't know it anymore. Although I still struggle, it's just a much bigger struggle. You know, we struggle to figure out how to buy airplanes and helicopters. Okay, so that's the new struggle. All right, you always struggle. The struggle never goes away. It just gets a lot more enjoyable. All right, folks. All right, listen. Let me let you go. Get after it. If you have any other questions, you know where to reach us. I'm just Brian at exprealty.com, BRIAN at exprealty.com. Send me an email, find me on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. I'm here to help. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Peace out.
Thanks, Brian.